Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm your host, John Henson. And this week, I'm really excited to share this week's topic with you, I guess would be the way to put it, because it's something that I see a lot of you guys dealing with. And you've probably gotten these emails before. I know that our clients have, because our clients forward them to us and they're like, hey, what's going on here? And so a lot of that is these cold sales emails, which is really what they are, but they're from these vendors, these contractors, these SEO companies that are like, hey, we ran this free optimization test on your website, this speed test on your website to see how your website was performing. And oh my God, you guys have so many issues with your website. You have so many speed issues. You have so many optimization issues. Your website isn't performing and it's losing you business. And it's designed to fill you full of doubt, to strike the fear of God into you, whether it's the language that they use, or they'll even provide the full PDF report, several pages of data and charts and graphs and all that kind of stuff. And it's psychologically designed to manipulate you into thinking that you have something wrong with your website. It's color coded, the charts, the way that the X and Y axes, yeah, sure, are aligned, and everything is all very manipulative. The one thing that I liken it to, especially around this time of year, assuming you're not in one of the deep southern states where it's still very warm, but when the weatherman on the news is talking about the weather and they show the temperatures and everything, in the summer, when it's 95 degrees outside, it's that dark red. And the 70s, if the lows are in the 70s at night, it'll be a little bit, very light yellow, maybe even a blue or a green or something like that. But this time of year, when the highs are in the 70s and the lows are in the 50s and 40s, it's the same color scheme. The mid to high 70s are still that dark red to make you think, oh man, it's going to be really hot out there. It's not. It's all very psychologically manipulative. And that is what these cold sales emails are designed to do. And it's designed to pull you away from the vendors that you're currently working with and to fill your head full of doubt and to break your trust with them, and to make you leave them and go work with this new company that sent you this email instead. But the one thing that you have to keep in mind about these sales emails is that they are preying on the fact that you have absolutely no idea what that data actually means. And, look, you're a business owner, lawyer, finance pro, whatever it is you're doing. You're a very smart person. But the reality of it is, unless you have a history in coding and website design and all of that kind of stuff, you're not going to have any idea what any of this stuff means. You're not going to know what enhanced JavaScript means. You're not going to know what PHP optimization is. You're not going to know what TTFB means, time to first byte. You're not going to know what any of these metrics mean, but all you're going to see is just this term, and just read by it. And in your mind, that you're trained to think, oh man, that's red. That means something's wrong. That means my website's broken. That means this marketing company or this website designer that I've been working with has screwed me over and I'm not getting the value. So these new experts have come along and they're here to save me. And that's not the case. It's not true. Right. And I say this not from a position of, oh my God, we've been losing so many clients to this, because that's not the case. It's just personally frustrating to me to see, people get taken advantage of because they just simply don't understand what's being presented to them. And look, I mean, that's just how the world works. Everyone's trying to get a leg up on the other person. It's business. It's, competitors trying to, grow their company, and that growth comes at the expense of other companies losing business. And so, I understand how it works, but the best way to combat that is just to make sure that people are educated. And that's what we're trying to do. And so here's the thing to keep in mind. And this is such a simple explanation, and I have some information to back me up on this. But when you receive those emails and you receive that attachment with the PDF, and they say, well, we ran this speed test, we used Google Page Speed. We are using Google's actual program. And Google, these are what Google is grading your website as. And if Google doesn't grade your website very well, that means it's just not going to perform. That means you're going to lose business and all of that. But here's the thing about that, right? And you can go run this test for yourself to prove that I'm right. Google's page speed test doesn't matter, right? It has no impact on your website's ranking. If you care about rankings, has no impact on search engine optimization or anything like that. Has no impact on your ad performance. It has no impact on the way that your website performs for the most part. It does provide suggestions that you can use to improve things here and there. In general, the improvements that it recommends aren't going to be earth shattering unless you have like a super old website. But like if you have a relatively new website that's been built in the last 2 or 3 years, all of Google Page's insights are not going to radically improve anything that they say is wrong with your website. All right. Now, if you've got a website that's 15 years old that you've never touched since you created it on day one, yeah, it's going to tell you a lot. It's probably going to tell you get a new website entirely. All right. And that's a completely different conversation. But the big thing to remember here is do not take these page speed tests as the gospel, because here's the kicker. All right. I already mentioned that these page speed insights do not reflect any sort of negative impact on your website's overall performance, whether you're trying to rank on search engines or whether you're trying to provide a good user experience. It's not there. But here's the thing. Google's own properties do not score well on a Google page speed test. All right. And you can go and do this yourself. You can go to just type in Google page speed into Google and it'll come up there, and you can run a test. You can enter in any URL you want. All right. You can test your own website. You can test the biggest websites out there, Yahoo, ESPN, do YouTube. All right. YouTube is a Google owned property. YouTube is the second largest search engine. It's one of the biggest. Technically, it's a social media network. We can have that discussion too. But run the Google page speed test on YouTube, a Google property. Out of it'll give you a score from 1 to 100, 100 being the best. You know where YouTube scores? 31. That's deep in the red. All right. And, if you're not watching the video version, I'm going to pull up. I'm just kind of pulling up my laptop here and just kind of looking. So Google scored, or YouTube scored 31. And, it says it right on there. Over the previous 28-day collection period, field data shows that this page, that YouTube does not pass Google's own core Web Vitals assessment on page speed insights. So that should tell you a lot about how much this assessment that these vendors and these contractors and these companies are trying to scare you with, that it does not actually matter. All right. And look, and they'll get, there's all kinds of stuff that it shows. I mean, it'll provide suggestions. So like Google thinks that YouTube should reduce its unused JavaScript. It should avoid multiple page redirects. I don't know how you do that when you have billions of videos on your website, but eliminate render blocking resources, reduced unused CSS, and I know that a lot of these terms are going right over your head right now. And that's the point. That's why these companies send you these emails, to take advantage of your ignorance over what this stuff is, and all of this is red. There's bad shapes and all of that. And so, it's fluff. It's just designed to make you scared. All right. And like I said, like these speed tests that you're getting, they're just blown out of proportion, because all these companies want to do is take advantage of you and know, because you're not smart enough to understand this world. So yeah, that's where we are with this. I'm sure you've gotten several of these emails. You probably get one a month, from various, companies and designers and coders and all of that, trying to make you think that you need to abandon your website to go build a new one, and you don't. All right. Now, there could be other reasons to redesign your website. Maybe your messaging isn't clear. Maybe it's not accurately representing who your business or your firm is at the moment. And that's a completely legitimate reason. But don't let a cold sales email talking about all this different data that shows that your website isn't performing well, or that your website is being blacklisted by Google because it doesn't perform well. It's all lies. All right. Don't fall for that trap. All right. And if you get some of these emails, send them over to your marketing provider. Let them see if they have a response to it. I bet they're going to tell you the same thing, that none of that actually matters. So don't get freaked out by a bad page speed test result, because a lot of times it has nothing to do with the overall goal that you're trying to accomplish. Your website, if it loads within a couple of seconds, that's the standard. And people aren't going to back away because they think your website doesn't perform well. It's just simply not the case. All right. Hope that was really helpful. Hope that was really insightful for you guys this week. If you have any questions, if you've received some of these emails, I'd love to help you out. I'd love to answer some additional questions and, dive deep into them with you. You can email me at john@spotlightbranding.com. And I'm happy to chat with you guys about these emails and just the lies that you're being fed about that. All right. Also, don't forget to check out our $30,000 marketing makeover experience that I announced last week. Go to spotlightbranding.com/makeover to learn how to get entered and to learn about everything that you get with that $30,000 giveaway that we're doing. It's really huge. We're really excited. We've had a lot of people enter into it already. So definitely check it out. spotlightbranding.com/makeover. And that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.